Indigenous peoples around the globe have long been conserving the natural environment. Comprising less than 5% of the world's population, indigenous people protect 80% of global biodiversity. The Orang Asli are the earliest people of Malaysia. Yet they are also the most marginalized, suffering multidimensional poverty as a result of logging. Through the loss of their natural resources, the Orang Asli were made poor. This is their story. Since the 1990s, millions of hectares in forest cover have been cleared to make way for development.
Deforestation affects the Orang Asli in many ways. One of the damaging ways is the contamination of their water sources. With logging or mining, the rivers all get polluted and their drinking water sources now become contaminated.
Dulu cedok aja minum terus, lawa jernih airnya, cantik. Sekarang dah tak boleh keruh. Bau pun dah tak sedap, bau karat besi itu dah. Dah tak sedap, kita mandi pun tak rasa sabun lagi. Cuci baju pun walau pakai doni pun tak ada rasa bau doni.
Ikan pun macam dekat tasik cernih, memang dia macam sakit lah. Dia punya sisik tu macam kudih-kudih. Kita nak makan pun takut.
Almost everything that you need is there, no? If you need to build a house, you need strong rattan, is there, no? If you need fine rattan to make crafts, it's also there, various species, no? And then if you need to make bark cloth, for your costumes, but before it was for dress and for blankets and so on. So there are many plants in the forest that are of use and for different uses, no? So that's why because of your connection with the forest, because you're living in the forest, you know about it. If you want to build a canoe, there's a certain kind of wood. For bamboo, you want to build a house, your platform bamboo is different from your wall bamboo to your beams and so on, no? And blow pipe bamboo, of course, is very different. Your spear bamboo or your duck bamboo is also different, no? So what's happening now is that many young people are living in towns, so that knowledge is slowly dying out. And if it's not documented, it will be sadly lost. No?
Kenangan saya masa kecil, ayah, mak bawa pergi masuk hutan, cabut ubi, masuk hutan, bawa sumpit, sumpit monyet. Itulah saya orang makan dalam hutan.
Ini merampak ni maksud pergi dalam hutan, pergi makan lah, masuk macam tu, bawa makanan, duduk dekat tepi sungai, lepas memancing apa tu, tungkun api, lepas tu masaklah apa yang ada. Macam ikan mancing yang dapat tu masak macam tu, itu dia panggil merampak lah.
Pergi mancing situ, bila dah dapat ikan, kita tunggu api lah. Tunggu api dekat situ, bakar.
The Orang Asli's reliance on the jungle is clearly evident. Everything they needed was derived from the forest. There was no need for any equipment, except for a well-sharpened machete.
Dan lepas makan, kita main lah, panjat pokok. Pokok sesio tu kan dia rendang, bercantum-cantum dah dia. Nanti kita panjat sini, sampai ke macam jauh sana, kita boleh lagi ikut atas pokok macam monyet. Sekarang mana ada, sudah pelombongan, kawasan tu semua habis pelombong. Tak ada lagi lah kenangan manis kita orang. Anak-anak sekarang memang tak ada dah.
Memang sekarang ni hutan dah memang separuh habis lah, balak. Mata saya tak menangis tapi dalam hati menangis. Sebab kenangan yang tadi, bila saya pergi masa saya kecil-kecil dulu, tempat tu dah tak ada dah.
The loss of biodiversity across the globe has great repercussion on future food supplies. And our Orang Asli farmers have long felt the impact.
Masa dulu kan hebat, sedap. Makan buah pun senang. Cari ubat pun senang. Cari-cari lauk-lauk hutan pun senang. Walaupun tanpa tali jerat pun, guna sumpit pun boleh. Boleh makan.
These are very important resources. The Orang Asli use these resources in a very sustainable way. They extract what is needed and allow the others to thrive. And in this way, the resource is perpetuated on and on for generation upon generation.
Masa saya kecil dulu saya rasa mewah. Saya cari rotan. Lepas tu cari damang, getah kayu tu.
Sekarang pun kalau kami nak kerja rotan, tak ada dah. Pendapatan hasil dalam hutan ni kurang dah.
Many whose livelihood were impacted have turned to farming for subsistence. One such person is 𝐓𝐴 𝐻𝑒𝑟, who once was counting on the rich biodiversity of Malaysia's second largest natural freshwater lake. Choked and poisoned by mining and logging, Lake 𝐓𝐶𝑖𝑛𝐦 has lost its luster.
Dulu tasik cernih memang cantik. Pelancong pun banyak, tapi sekarang tak ada dah. Pelancong pun tak ada, tasik cernih pun habis. Dengan pelancong dah tak datang, kita pun tak ada lah. Tak ada pelanggan. Masa sekarang kita tanam sayur lah. Kita rasa memang senang sikit lah. Macam-macam sayur saya tanam. Tanam jagung, tanam bendi. Lepas tu Brazil, kangkung.
𝐻𝐴 Organic Cooperative is actually a shared prosperity model. It seeks to put people and planet back into the center of businesses. Shape the business model and turn it upside down, where the Orang Asli producers get a lion's share of the profits. Provided training, we provided seed capital, and then we linked them to fair markets. And in this way, we were able to give these Orang Asli 40% of the retail price, plus also be able to provide benefits in kind to another 40%. This way, we were able to empower the Orang Asli to uplift themselves from poverty and to chart their own progress and development forward. And so with 2 or 4 hours of work, they could be earning between 400 to 800 ringgit.
Organik ni, sekarang ni buat masa ni lah, kita boleh tahan lah. Boleh dapatlah 1,000 lebih dah sebulan.
Sekarang ni sejak bersayur ni adalah duit simpan sikit-sikit, dan untuk anak-anak yang bersekolah, kita rasa tak bimbang lah. Sebabnya kalau dulu kita bimbang, kerja tu tak menentu. Tapi sekarang ni boleh kita simpan sikit.
Kira okey lah sekarang ni dah. Sebab pun barang makan pun kira duit pun dah ada dah sikit untuk beli barang makan. Bagi makan anak pun taklah sampai menangis lapar. Tak macam masa saya cakap masa anak saya kecil-kecil dulu susah.
In addition to all that a fair price, we also wanted to restore their dignity. It's designed in such a way that they become the owners and they are partners. They're not workers, they're not employees, but they are equal partners in the supply chain. And so in this way there is greater dignity. So in this way they could remain with their families, particularly the women who had children had flexibility. They could look after the children, they could work on the farm, and because they were their own bosses, they had the flexibility of time.
Farming is more than just income. It brings a community together, strengthening cohesion.
Kalau dulu kita nak jumpa antara satu sama lain ni susah sekali. Masing-masing buat kerja masing-masing. Menoreh, masuk hutan. Sekarang ni sejak kita ada komuniti kat sini, kebun sayur, kita makin mesra dan seronoklah berkebun sayur bersama-sama.
Masa dulu kita nak jumpa puak keluarga pun payah. Kadang kita pergi rumah dia orang tak ada. Tak seperti macam ni. Seperti macam ni senang, kita sekejap-sekejap pagi jumpa, petang jumpa.
Plenty of opportunity for them to share of their stories, their experiences, and that kept building bonding within the community. They are now able to form the critical number to organize themselves, to unite, and to find big solutions that require the whole of the community to come into a consensus.
The progress of these communities is expedited by multiple grantors, companies, organizations, and individuals, donors, volunteers, and consultants who have journeyed with us, investing time, energy, expertise, and finance.
Saya semenjak tanam sayur ni saya tak beli dah sayur kat luar. Saya makan sayur ni aja. Nak makan ketula saya ambil ketula, nak makan terung saya ambil terung. Makan bayam saya ambil bayam macam tu.
They were able to enjoy vegetables for free, healthy, organic, free of any pesticide, and so it was a win-win in every way for them.
Macam kami penanam pun, kami suka makan sayur organik lah. Saya tak pernah dah membeli sayur kimia. Kita tahu khasiat dia yang kita tanam, tak ada racun apa. Kita makan gitu pun rasa selamat lah. Memang selamat lah bukan rasanya sebab kita yang tanam, kita tahu.
Baja pun bukan baja, boleh baja kimia. Baja kena baja organik lah.
Sebab dia macam sayur semula jadi yang tanpa racun. Kalau macam sayur luar ni, sayur semua, orang semua dengan racun tu lagi. Sebab itulah saya suka tanam sayur ni supaya bagi godong-godong kat luar sana makan supaya mereka pun sihat juga.
Saya rasa bangga apa yang saya buat menyokong orang yang luar dan menambah pendapatan saya lah.
They are leaders in nature economics. They are the best people to conserve the forest because of their worldview and because they see that nature is part of them. And if they damage nature, they damage themselves. And they understood this well before climate change came into our vocabulary. And so that's something deep within their worldview, deep within their DNA. Now we see that science is telling us that nature contributes as much as 55% towards global GDP. Where indigenous people manage or occupy land, the rate of land degradation is 5 times lower. When we put these two findings together, we see that the Orang Asli are the best people to combat climate change and sustain the environment.
The good thing about OA Organics is that it goes beyond that just growing organic. Rather, it tries to revive the old tradition that, hey, it is the environment that allows you to do this, for you to have a good livelihood. And to do that, you need to take care of the environment as your ancestors, as your forefathers did.
They live in equilibrium with nature, and how they do that is through their customary practices.
Kayu ini kalau kita masuk hutan, kita kena pilih. Kita pilihnya menurut dengan saiz kehendak kita nak buat. Untuk kegunaan kalau dia untuk buat rumah boleh. Kalau tujuan kita nak jual, maknanya orang tak bagilah. Adat itu dia orang tak bagi.
Kita mau cari yang ada saiz buat rumah lah. 3 inci yang besar, boleh kita buat rumah lah. Kalau kecil tak boleh lah. Nanti besok lain tahun kita mau buat mana kayu sudah tak ada.
Tepi-tepi sungai, tepi-tepi paya kita tak boleh nak tebang. Nanti masalah air tercemar, nanti kita tak boleh nak minum, tak boleh nak cari makan ke situ. Kalau ada orang ustik macam contoh ceroboh lah, orang musnah, kita pun adat kita mesti kena marah juga, tak boleh.
Yang dia beranak, dia sudah ada telur, kita tak boleh pancing. Musim dia ini bulan 10, bulan 9 lah. Musim dia betul tak boleh lah. Pemburu pun sama. Yang kecil-kecil dia hamil ke, kita tidak boleh bunuh dia. Nanti kalau kita bunuh dia, jadi tidak membiak lah. Besok depan anak-anak kita, anak cucu kita besok, dia nak cari apa?
Yang hamil pula keadaan dia, kalau kita rasa tengok gaya besar perut dia, itu kita berarti itu yang hamil. Jadi kita pun alau juga, tak payah kita burukan dia, kita bagi alau dia, kita cari yang lain juga. Tak kira lah walaupun berapa jam kita masuk hutan, walaupun berapa carok pun, berapa sungai kita masuk, bukit ke, kita cari yang lain. Yang itu kita tak payah.
When a common law is introduced, it recognizes the original occupants of the land. It also recognizes that there is a customary law of the indigenous peoples themselves that gives them right to the land and to allocate the land, appropriate the land, the basis on which they practice to preserve the land and own the land, as it were. When common law then recognized pre-existing rights to the land, that falls under what Article 13 would recognize as rights to land. And if that land is taken away from them, then the law says there must be adequate compensation paid for the land that is taken away.
𝐻𝑒 Organics shared prosperity model is an impactful and sustainable way to sustain livelihood, uplifting the Orang Asli from poverty while protecting the environment. It is a development approach that is able to meet 13 of the 17 SDG goals. Support the Orang Asli sustainable efforts by buying their organic produce today. Look up our Facebook or website for outlet details.